Hey Top 10 Nerd fans, it's your favorite rookie host, Dewey, and today I got a real fun one for you. Have you ever thought about one day having children? Or are you too terrified you would be a bad parent? If you are, no worries, because today's list is sure to make you feel a little bit better. Today we look at the top 10 villains who are terrible parents. Starting us off at number 10 is Menace from the Marvel Universe. Formerly engaged to Harry Osborn, Lily Hollister is the infamous villain Menace. Let me start off by saying not only is Menace a terrible parent, but also a terrible partner. After crashing and attacking two police officers at a political rally for her father, Menace was brought down by fiancé Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin, who then injected serum into her body to change her back to Lily. She was then immediately arrested and brought to jail. Once she got out of jail, she immediately told Harry that she was pregnant and moving on by dating his father, Norman. Oh, and by the way, the child wasn't Harry's, it was his dad's. Before the child is even born, she subjects the child to a life of goblin genes. But just wait. She was lying all along, and after a blood test run by Spider-Man, it is proven that her baby named Stanley is Harry's son after all. In the end, Menace decides to abandon her baby, feeling unfit to be a parent and fearing it would be in more danger if she stayed. Best parenting choice I think she ever made. Coming in at number 9, we have Kraven the Hunter. With the casting of Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter in the new movie set to release in 2023, Kraven has been on my mind quite a bit. But before we go to theaters or home theaters to watch it, I think we should get to know first what kind of parent this guy really is. Back in 1997, in the Spectacular Spider-Man number 243, it was revealed that Kraven the Hunter had a son with another mutant. They named their son Alexei Kravenov, who grew up to be a much bigger threat to Spider-Man than his father. That being said, Alexei wasn't as obsessed with killing Spider-Man like his father, but was actually just obsessed with outsmarting him. Great, another intelligent evil villain to take care of. It's not like Spidey's plate wasn't full enough already. Continuing on, it was later revealed that Alexei actually had another half-sibling named Anastasia Kravenov that took on the Kraven the Hunter name, and she actually killed Alexei in the Grim Hunt storyline. Long story short, this Hunter guy had two kids and never introduced them, and once they finally did meet, one of them killed the other. I think it's safe to say he failed his parenting class in high school. At number 8, we have Carnage. Another upcoming Marvel movie set to release later this year, Venom Let There Be Carnage has all of us excited about seeing the famous Marvel villain on the big screen, but once again, I feel like we need to get to know this guy as a parent first. So, let's get to it. Most of us know that Carnage is just a massive evil blob born of Venom and that the symbiotes breed without the need of a mate. So naturally, that made Carnage give the birth to another symbiote known as Toxin. Now, what's the difference between Toxin and the other two? Toxin actually attached itself to a police officer known as Patrick Milligan. Toxin decided to be a hero and protect New York City and even became friends with our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But wait, does that mean Carnage was actually a great parent? Absolutely not. When Toxin was about to be born, Carnage attempted to kill it straight away so that he wouldn't have any bigger competition than what he already had with Venom. He tried to kill his own child. Enough said. At number 7, we leave the Marvel and DC universes altogether to go to one of my favorite universes of all time, Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Also known as Oroku Saki, the parent of Oroku Kurai, or Kurai as she is most commonly known. Later on down the line, Kurai becomes the leader of the terribly violent Foot Clan. But on her way to the top, she is Shredder's adopted daughter who works her way to become Chunin, aka second in command to Master Shredder. After using ancient powers and higher beings to brainwash Leonardo of the TMNT, Shredder makes Leo his one and only Chunin, thus stripping Kurai of the coveted title. Oh yeah, I left out that Shredder is actually an ancient ancestor to Kurai, and when she becomes the Foot Clan leader for the first time, she is visited by Shredder in a dream to resurrect him as the rightful leader. Can you imagine being boss and then being forced to leave and then being demoted by your own father? Oh, and then battling him in the ultimate duel after? Yeah. This guy sucks, dude. But can't deny is a super cool villain. At number 6, we return back to the DC universe with Big Daddy Deathstroke. I've talked about Deathstroke in one of my previous videos before, and like I said, he might be one of the most coolest BA villains I have ever known. That being said, he is still a terrible parent. Not only did he abandon his daughter and leave her in foster care, when he did finally decide to be close to her, he made her join in on his villainous adventures. But first, she had to prove herself worthy to him. So what did she do? She gouged her eye out. She then replaced it with a kryptonite eye so it would help them defeat Superman. But guess what? The kryptonite eye was slowly killing her, so obviously she decided to rebel against her father. I will say, Slade aka Deathstroke did eventually give her the serum that helped make him the ultimate villain, so that seems pretty cool, I guess, and maybe a good way to apologize, but maybe I'm only saying that because I secretly want to have the abilities of Deathstroke too. Still a bad parent though. Coming in at number 5, we have Marvel Universe's Red Skull. The famous Captain America villain Red Skull, former head of Hydra, notorious an all-around bad guy, also happens to be a terrible parent. No surprise there. Red Skull's daughter is named Cynthia Schmidt, or Sin for short. Sin. We as humans are told not to sin. Don't be sinful. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Yeah, a little on the nose there, guys. Cynthia was known as a beast of a child, and that's how she earned the respect of her father. Because why would any parent just automatically respect and care for their child in the first place? Am I right? Red Skull used his Deus Machina to age his daughter into adulthood and made Sin the mother of 4 orphan girls who were taught to praise Mama Sin as a goddess. Eventually, she grew into taking over Red Skull's legacy, but was ultimately defeated by Captain America. Way to go, Red Skull. Way to set your daughter up for success and robbing her of her childhood. Jerk. At number 4, we have the infamous and personal favorite Marvel villain of mine, Loki. I know most of our eyes light up when we say this name because it reminds us of that dreamy Tom Hiddleston man, but please don't forget, the character he plays is the god of mischief and a terrible parent. Loki, the ever so mischievous brother of Thor, had a hard time finding a partner in Asgard. So what did he do? He went down to Earth and did the bow chicka wow wow with a mortal who was unknown. Thus, out of his little trip down to Earth, he had a son by the name of Val Halfling, also known as Agamemnon, James, or Aggie. Dude, just pick one already. Val was known to be a bit of a pain to the rest of the gods and has messed with the Egyptian, Hindu, and Greek pantheons throughout the quest for power. Of course, all of this was greatly admired by Loki, and I think it's safe to say he is a pretty bad influence and not fit to be a parent. But hey, how many gods throughout all of time have turned out to be good parents anyway? My point exactly. Starting us off in our top 3 is the old baldy himself, Lex Luthor. No offense to any of our bald fans out there, just as long as you're not a super evil genius. And if you are, come at me. Old Lexi Luthor has a couple of kids. After the death of Superman carried out by Doomsday, Project Cadmus organized for a clone to be made up of half Superman and half Lex Luthor. The result? Superboy, aka Connor Kent. The other child was Alexander Luthor Jr., the son of Lex Luthor and Lois Lane Luthor of Earth 3. On Earth 3, Lex is a good guy fighting an evil version of the Justice League. He then sends Jr. to Earth 1 to keep him safe, but while there, Jr. gets in touch with his dark side. Eventually, Luthor Jr. creates the Society of Supervillains and even brings about the death of Shazam. So, Luthor created one supervillain and one clone with his arch nemesis. Doesn't sound like the best start to fatherhood if you ask me. Coming in at number 2 is the ever so popular Conqueror of Galaxies, Thanos. Thanos is father to tons of children, but most of them have died under his care, or should I say lack thereof. First example of being a terrible parent. Not one, but most of your children die in your care? Yikes, dude. Eventually, Thanos does have a child with a member of the Inhumans who then escaped to her homeworld and gave birth to a child. His name was Thane, son of Thanos. Once Thanos discovered that he actually had a son out there in the universe, he left on a mission to go find Thane while wiping out any civilization that got in his way. After being exposed to a Terrigen bomb, Thane went on to replace Thanos as ruler of the universe. I gotta say, you have to be proud of Thane for accomplishing that much without the help of a good father figure in his life. Thane, if no one's told you, I'm proud of you, son. That's my boy. And finally, coming in at our number 1 spot for villains who are terrible parents, we have a duo, Joker and Harley Quinn. Now, okay, do I even need to go into this one? I mean, even though these are arguably 2 of pop culture's favorite supervillains of all time, is it not clear by the absolute violent chaos that these 2 create, the very on-again, off-again, and sometimes abusive relationship that these 2 have, that they would be god-awful parents? Maybe. In Tom Taylor's Injustice Gods Among Us Year 2, issue number 13, Harley backs down from a fight with the Black Canary after discovering that Canary is pregnant. Harley relates it back to her own life because she has a 4-year-old daughter with the Joker that is being taken care of by her sister. Because needless to say, the life of Harley and Joker is definitely not the life for any child in its formative years. Let alone any year. Harley also keeps her daughter's existence a secret from the Joker in fear for her life. Even though I still believe these two are terrible parents, you can't deny the love that Harley has for her little one, and honestly I think keeping her baby safe shows a little bit of her humanity. But the Joker is still terrible. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our top 10 villains who are terrible parents. What did you think? Agree with my choices? Did I miss some even more terrible parents? Let me know down in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe to Nerd Top 10 for more of the best nerd content on the planet. I've been your host Dewey Stewart, and if you want to continue to see this crazy mug and get to know me a little bit more, go give me a follow on Insta at DeweyStew, and I will see you all back here very soon. Until then, show all those great parents and guardians out there some love and let them know how much you appreciate them. One sec. Oh, hey mom. Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just filming right now. Did you cut off the crust? Okay.